I'm David Dibosa. I'm Reader in Museology here in the University of the Arts, London. At present, my research focus looks at museums. I'm a co-investigator in the Black Artists and Modernism research project, for which I take a lead on the museology strand. So by that, what I do is I direct the work within the research project to look at the ways in which museums have collected, housed, displayed and exhibited the work of black artists in relation to modernism. I began to follow this line of research when I started my PhD at Goldsmiths College. I completed a thesis called Reclaiming Remembrance, Art, Shame and Commemoration. The thesis looked at the ways in which artists were involved in exhibiting work connected to figures who died in shameful circumstances. So I looked at a suicide, an execution, and an AIDS-related death, and a death in exile. The aim of the research was to try to understand the ways in which art practices can be used to help develop social practices such as commemoration and mourning. So in that, I began to develop quite a close focus on the work of the exhibition and the ways in which people engage with exhibitions in order to develop different kinds of social engagement and different forms of social interaction. After finishing my work in relation to exhibitions and mourning, I began to look more broadly at the place of the exhibition within the museum setting. I worked as a co-investigator on a large AHRC research project, Tate Encounters, and in that we looked at the work of the exhibition in relation to the museum. So now, as Reader in Museology, my work is to understand how museums function in relation to their inner workings, what they do with the art that they collect, but also their external workings, what stories and narratives they develop and tell society as a whole. My excitement develops around the question of the museum as a body. The museum is a body of knowledge, and in that my understanding is going to be developed in understanding how far different museums develop different practices, different problems, and different issues, and different formulations. To date, I've looked at national museums and the ways in which they play a part in the formation of national consciousness, whether that be national consciousness in relation to identity or national consciousness in relation to memory and legacy, and the ways in which museums contain the works of different kinds of artists, such as Black British artists, as in Black Artists and Modernism, or different forms of artistic practice. What I will be interested to find out is the different ways in which museums complete these tasks, not necessarily just at the national level, but also at the local level and the municipal level. So, in a way, the world of museums helps me think through what different problems might emerge and what different issues might be there to research. The research that I do around museums has a direct influence in relation to my teaching here in the University of the Arts, London. In particular, the work that I do on the Masters in Curating and Collections here at Chelsea College in the university is central to some of the preoccupations of my research. The approach we take here at Chelsea College with our Masters in Curating and Collections focuses on the object. We look at the object as the centre of curatorial practice. This contrasts with some other approaches to curating, where people are interested in the curating that focuses on concepts and developing ideas. We look at objects. We start with objects and we develop curating as a process of assembling objects, and through the assembly of objects, attaining some form of meaning or broader significance. The Train Research Centre, Transnational Art, Identity and Nation focuses very much on a development of understanding a research focus which moves out from the kind of regional or area studies focus which preoccupied researchers and academics for many years. What Train says is that by collecting the different tools from the different approaches, one can unite or combine, if you like, different kinds of methods to develop an interdisciplinary approach which helps us problem solve in relation to different questions which emerge all over the world.